Eek tries to trade me his rental French horn for my own personal one. By Hodhosis. This happened back in my freshman year of high school, back when I was younger and more easily intimidated. The only reason this didn't go south was because of a good friend of mine. Me, proud French horn player. Eek, entitled kid. Entitled mom. F, friend, who is still an awesome friend years later. Anyone who has ever done middle or high school band is probably familiar with the idea of instrument rental. You might be able to buy your kid a basic trumpet, clarinet, or snare drum, but you don't need to spend a ton of money on more expensive instruments. My school system had 4 high schools under the same system, so if there was a demand or surplus in one school, the instruments would change schools until everyone was satisfied. In middle school I was pretty good at trumpet already. Back in the last state I lived in, band started in 5th grade, but in my new home it started in 6th grade, so I was a year ahead of the average. I could play my scales and sight read, so my band teacher let me try a harder instrument, and I was the only French horn player. Ever since then, I stuck with the instrument. I borrowed from the school and could tell that many a student had used it before me. My dad promised me that if I could make the all-state auditions in my 7th grade year, no matter what seat, then he would buy me my own French horn for the 8th grade. I got second to last chair, but my dad already was thinking about letting me earn the instrument anyway if I didn't make it. I worked so hard. It wasn't new, he had bought it on eBay, but it was a double French horn, which meant that it had a thumb trigger to activate another set of tuning pipes for the rotors. Usually you used the trigger for lower registers as the tuning changes. It was silver in color, and the previous owner had kept it in good shape. I was so pleased with it, and my teacher said I was getting pretty good on it. When I went to high school, I was introduced to the mellophone, which is basically the marching band version of a French horn, but since I was only going to use it for marching band, we chose the sensible rental option. Usually the higher seat you were, the better choice you got for instrument, which meant that as a freshman, I was left with the rinky-dink that still sounded okay but had been bent before and fixed. I was fine with the system, knowing that I would get better and next year I could get one that wasn't so bad. It was when we were moving into concert band that the drama started. Depending on your skill level, there were 2 band classes, one mostly filled with freshmen and sophomores, and juniors who weren't all that good, and the other was filled with juniors and seniors, with the occasional sophomore who was better than good. There was a similar system. You tried out for chairs and based upon order of chair, you got to select a school instrument. I had my own which I polished up nice and shiny for class. Eek had gotten first chair in class, and most of the school rentals were brass in color while mine was silver. There were a couple double French horns, though most were single. On our first day of concert band class, he sees me at middle chair of 5 and asked why he wasn't allowed to play that one. I explained to him that I owned this one, and he didn't want to believe me. After the teacher verified that it was mine, the kid subsided, but not for long. I got approached one day at the end of class by the Eek with a grin on his face. I talked to the teacher, and he said that we can trade French horns. He said that the first chair should have the best one. Sorry, but my dad would be pissed if I gave away the instrument. It wasn't cheap. Even a used French horn was a pricey investment, and my dad had impressed on me the value of this thing. That doesn't matter. The teacher said you can just borrow the school one, and he'll pay you back for any damages for yours at the end of the year. He was a junior and I was an easily impressed freshman. But I still resisted and told them that I'd need the teacher to tell me all of this. He wasn't having any of it and tried to grab the case out of my hand. Come on dude, he already said it's okay. He's going to give you a failing grade if you don't give it. I held on to the case with a death grip and began shouting. It's high school, so shouting was kind of par for the course, but my teacher only let the shouting go on for a few seconds before he realized it wasn't just normal high school horseplay. When he came out, he demanded to know what was going on. Eek shouted he's stealing my French horn and hurting me, despite the fact that my case had silver Sharpie all over it with drawings and my name written on the side. My teacher had seen me with the French horn and knew that I had signed a sheet of paper saying I was not renting an instrument. He was no dummy. The teacher broke us up and sent Eek to the principal's office. I figured that would be the end of it and figured he'd get in trouble. He did, and was suspended for a day, for which I was grateful. When he came back, he would give my case an envious look, so I decided it would be prudent to hide my French horn. My friend knew what was up, and he suspected that the kid was going to make off with my instrument, possibly steal it, but just as likely take it to break it. Who knew? F played tuba, which was made of fiberglass. All the brass ones were at a different school, and it was a common practice to just place the whole tuba in the locker instead of in the case in the locker. F told me to start putting my silver French horn in his case, and to take my empty F horn case to my locker like it was in there. I came back to pick up my instrument at the end of the day, and I found the case was missing. After a quick look around the building, F found it behind the band building smashed to pieces. I still don't know if he thought my horn wasn't there when he damaged it, or if he damaged it because he opened it and found it wasn't there. Still, we reported it to the teacher. Bless this school for their cameras. They didn't have cameras everywhere, but there was one behind the band building. Meant to watch an entrance to the football field, but it caught Eek tossing a wrecked case behind the building and stomping on it. I was brought into an after-school meeting with me, my parents, the band teacher, principal, Eek, and his mother. I had no idea what she's been told up to this point, but I figured that the Eek was going to be smacked around by his mother halfway through the meeting. Oh boy, was I in for a story. She thought I was in trouble and that her son was called in as a witness. According to EM's understanding of the story, I had stolen one of the school French horns, trying to claim it belonged to me, and my son was trying to report me to the band teacher. I had covered up my crime to the point where even the band teacher believed the horn belonged to me. Eek tried to be cool and tried to trade horns with me so that he could bring me to justice somehow, and that I refused and threatened to smash his horn up and blame it on him. When he went to go reclaim the stolen horn like a hero, he found that I had sold the horn and left the case, and that I was going to have to pay the school thousands, yeah. They aren't cheap, of dollars for a replacement. By this point Eek looks embarrassed because he knows his story is full of holes. As the truth was explained to the EM, she changed gears. Well, why couldn't that freshman just trade instruments then? Why did he have to go and frame my son? She was still trying to make her son the victim in all of this. When it was explained that he would not be welcome in band anymore, she tried to accuse the teacher of inhibiting his music career and that she would sue. This is where my dad, who had been patiently waiting for a chance to speak, cut in. You're just lucky my son hid the horn from your son, or you'd be the one paying for a new horn. By the way, you can purchase a new case by next week, and I promise not to take you to court for damages. Could not believe the accusations against her son, and when shown the video, she huffed and said it was probably staged. This was 1999, so Photoshop was not a common accusation yet. By the end of it, the school ended up buying me the case. Not a great one, but it did the job. Eek was suspended for a month, and later expelled for stealing school equipment in his new class in drama. I thought drama would have been a great class for him to take instead, considering. Entitled Mom Almost Steals My 800 Worth Gaming Laptop by Thanosh Rabas. EM entitled Mom Eek entitled Kid Mimi. Note: I live in Latvia, small country in Northern Europe. English is my second language, so excuse me for bad grammar. Story: I am a teenager, 15, and at my current age I cannot earn any money on my own except in summer, so the laptop that the EM almost stole is really important to me. And if I lost it, my parents would kill me. So, this happened to me last week. I was at Teenager Center, a place where teenagers can go after school and do whatever they want to do, and by the way, small kids can go there too. I took my laptop with me because I needed to do a school project. After a while I needed to go to the men's restroom. I left the laptop on a chair I was sitting on while I went to WC. When I came back, this happened. I see EM and Eek holding my laptop and staring at it. Then I come closer to them and say, "Me, why are you holding my laptop?" EM, "Because we saw it sitting on that chair." Me, "You know that is my laptop?" EM, getting angry, "No, it is mine. I saw it first." Me, I am repeating again, "That laptop is mine. I bought it for my own earned money." EM, "How can you prove that it is yours?" Me, "Turn it on." I turned the laptop off, so my battery wouldn't drain. EM, turns on the laptop. Me, "See, it shows my name. Robert." EM, "How do I know that it is your name?" Me, "Shows my ID card. In Latvia we can make ID cards instead of passports." The ID card clearly says Robert. EM, realizes that she has F***D up, starts thinking up excuses why she needs the laptop. EM, "My son needs it more than you." Then I realized that Eek was sitting right behind her the whole F group of asterisks G time. He was about 9 years old. Then I, a 6*0, not that buff, but kinda muscular, 15-year-old, start saying, "Give me back my laptop or you are going to have some problems." She clearly gets a little bit scared, so she backs up and gives the laptop to her son and says, "Run." But almost everyone knows, gaming laptops are kinda heavy, so he is slowed down and almost drops it. I start chasing him. I caught him immediately and snatched the laptop from him. Then EM runs towards me, almost falls, because she is wearing high heels, and says, "What did you do to my child, you idiot?" Then she just yelled for security. Obviously they came almost immediately. Then she started to tell security that I have assaulted her and Eek. But then I explain what happened, and security says that he will deal with her, and I can go home. I heard that she got into real trouble, but I don't want to deal with her ever again. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more hilarious stories. See you all tomorrow.